guys, and welcome to another one of my Shop My Stash videos. If you missed the recap for last month, I will link it down below. I just went through all of the products that I had in my everyday makeup drawer for the last month or so. It's been a little while since I've done one of these, so I'm definitely excited to be back in here and picking some new makeup for my everyday makeup drawer. Last month's theme was YouTube made me buy it, and this month I have decided that it would be fun to do a limited edition product sort of shop through here. So what I want to do is go through all of these drawers and find the limited edition products that are in my collection that I love and pull all of those to play with, because I have seen a lot of chatter and comments talking about how we all buy these limited edition products that are lovely and beautiful, and when they're not in our collections anymore, or when they're not available anymore, a lot of people stop talking about them. So I thought it would be fun to pull those products in for my everyday makeup drawer. I do think that I will have better luck in some categories than others. In fact, as I'm sitting here thinking about this, by the time we get to my foundation or concealer, products like that, don't know if I'm going to have any limited edition products, so maybe we'll just pull products that are no longer on the market. For now, we're going to do what we do every time, which is to go through all of my makeup drawers. We're at the top drawer of my Alex 9. We are looking at my blushes. One that immediately came to mind is this NARS Free Soul blush. It is a very light pinky blush. I have been thinking about this blush because I just watched that Taylor's 15 Days of Foundation, and she had been using this blush quite a bit on several of those videos recently, and I remembered how much I loved it as well. Unfortunately, no longer available. I'm gonna have to watch myself so that I don't say that 10 times over in this whole video. Other limited edition products, and I think these colors may still be available, but I'm not entirely sure. These are the Clinique Jonathan Adler blushes. I know these were limited edition. This is the shade Plum Pop and Peach Pop. I think these are colors that they normally have in their collection. I don't know if these are modified at all for the collection, but I do have these two. I think I'm just gonna pull one of them though. I think I'm actually gonna pull this very plummy color. I did just pull this not that long ago, but I'm tempted to pull it again because I do love it so much. It's from Kiko Cosmetics. It is their Memorial Biscuit from their Arctic Holiday. I think this was Christmas 2 years ago. Did just pull this not that long ago, so I do think I'm gonna skip over that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna pause here because I do know there's a lot of blush palettes that I do want to pull. So pulling two things from here, that's good for me. All right, so now I'm in my highlighter and bronzer drawer. So let's start with bronzers. Let me see if there's anything in here that is actually limited edition. All right, so there's no bronzers that are limited edition. I can't remember if there's bronzers in my face palette drawer that I might be able to pull. So I think I'm gonna pull one thing, and it's a bit of a stretch, but this is the Take Home the Bronze from the Balm. These are still available, but at this one I'm counting as limited edition because it is called Oscar. And when they launched this, they got in a little bit of trouble with the Oscars, and they've since named this, I think, Oliver, but I do have the limited edition, no longer in print, Oscar bronzer, which is a beautiful matte cool tone bronzer. So I do like this one. So let's pull that in. Let's pull this in too. I've not gotten a ton of love out of this, but this is the limited edition Wet n Wild Written in the Stars loose highlighter powder. It's a really pretty pinky color. Don't love these loose highlighters, but it is absolutely beautiful. Let's pull in this Amrezy highlighter. I know they've brought it back, but it was limited edition. It is a beautiful gold that for some reason works on me. I always assumed that this would be a color that would be too gold or too brassy, but it's gorgeous. So we'll put that in. Oh yeah, let's pull this. So this is from Essence. This is a baked metallic highlighter. This is one that was like on their website and gone in a flash. It is like one of the most intense metallic foiled highlighters that I own. I mean, it's like liquid metal, so it's not for the faint of heart, but it is absolutely stunning, and it's not chunky at all. It really does blend into the skin incredibly well, so that will do me for this drawer. All right, so now we're in my single eyeshadows. Let's see if we've got any limited edition products in here. Yes, so this is from NARS. This is Pygar. This is one of their, so it's a metallic eyeshadow. It's got this like really interesting green goldness to it. It's really, really pretty. Let's pull a couple of these Infallible ones because I know some of these they did as collections and then discontinued. Let's put this in. This is called Gleaming Bronze. It's this really interesting sort of greenish Gold Bronze. This is Liquid Diamond. So this is like a purpley, silvery shifting color. This I know was limited edition as well back in the day. These are great because they don't really expire a ton, so those will be good to pull. There's only one other limited edition product that I know is sitting in here, and it's one we just pulled not that long ago from Kiko Milano as a cream shadow, so I think we're good. All right, so now we are down in my liquid eyeshadows and liners drawer. So these two from Wet n Wild from their Goth-o-Glam line. This really pretty duochrome bluish purple, and then this really bright champagne pink. That would be fun to pull. Let's pull this too. This is from Mally Beauty. This is Copper Rose. It's one of those sort of cream eyeshadows. They still make these sticks, but they don't make this color anymore. In fact, I think this was just done for like a BoxyCharm or something. So we will pull this guy in, and I think that is good for this drawer. All right, so we are in my sort of more drugstore lipsticks, and I have a few high-ends over here. So definitely a few things that immediately come to mind. One are these two shades from the collection that ColourPop did with Disney. I have the shade Ariel, which is a more sort of warm toned nude, and then I also have the shade Belle, which is more of a deeper rose color. Those are both really pretty, so let's pull those in. There's also this really beautiful Clinique Jonathan Adler. This is in the shade Sangria. This is a really pretty sort of pinky plum color. Beautiful freaking packaging. I don't know what it is about this packaging that I love so much, but I do love it. So let's pull that in. All these Beauty and the Beast ones are for sure. So let's pull a few of these. So this is True Beauty. This is the collection that they did with Loreal. And then let's pull Savoir Faire, which, unless it's the same color, similar. Go ahead and pull those in. And then this is Bed Rose, which is more of a red. It could be fun to have a red. Gosh, these really feel like they're starting to dry out on me a little bit, actually. Well, maybe it's just the top. Technically, these are from the Loreal Holiday collection. So this is Celine and Aphrodite. Let's see how close these are to shades that I already have pulled. So that is Celine and Aphrodite. Don't know how many other regular lipsticks we're gonna find in my upstairs lipstick section, so I may pull both of these. I'm kind of liking the colors that I have here. I don't feel like I've got a ton of duplicates, and I think that is good for this drawer. So let's go down to lip glosses. All right, limited edition lip glosses. Let's see here. Oh, this could be fun to pull. So this is from Bite. I think these are now, I'm 99% sure these were limited edition. These were their lip toppers. This is the shade Rose Petal. I just thought that the shift in here was absolutely insane. It is a beautiful lip topper. Oh, sorry, my hand is wet, which is why it is skipping. But it can go very neutral slash brownish rose. So I do think that might work with some of the shades that we have pulled. I don't know if Moonchild is still available. I'm going to assume that if it is something with a brand, it is limited edition, even if they leave it on for a while. So this is Moonchild from Kathleen Lights. It is a really pretty nude. It actually has quite a lot of pigment to it. So that'll be a nice nude gloss to pull. Here's Disney Designer Collection. This is Bobbity. So this is more of a peachy coral color. Let's pull these. So these are from Beauty and the Beast. This is Savoir Faire and Red Rose. So these are going to match some of the shades that I pulled before. That is very similar to the Moonchild one, maybe slightly peachier, but that's okay. And then we've got a red gloss, which I actually don't mind shearing out these red glosses. It just gives a really pretty stain to the lips. And then I think that is all for this drawer. So let's get repositioned to start looking at eyeshadow palettes, because I know we're gonna have a lot in there. All right, so now we're in my first eyeshadow palette drawer. There's gonna be a lot of limited edition palettes in here, to be very honest, so I'm gonna have to probably pick and choose a little bit. One that I know is limited edition, this is the Tarte Clay Play. This is the original palette. It is full of really nice neutral mattes. I haven't pulled this in a while. I remember loving this when I got it and feeling like they jumped the gun with discontinuing it. The White Peach palette was a limited edition palette. I have looks in here that I think are really pretty. It's probably not my favorite palette of life, but I didn't hate it the way that most people did. Sultry palette, this is definitely limited edition, but I feel like I've gotten a lot of love with this one over the holidays, and like I said, it's been played with quite a lot lately, so I don't know if I want to pull that in. But I do think I want to pull this in. This is the Make Master palette by Mario. Just lots of really pretty neutrals. This one could be good to travel with for work coming up. I'll set this one to the side as a maybe. This is definitely a limited edition palette, but I think I pulled this one fairly recently too. But this is the Ocean Sunset palette by Loreal. I really enjoy that. I don't think it needs to get pulled right now. This I'm going to count as limited edition because they discontinued the brand fairly quickly after that. This is the Fiona Styles Artist Eyeshadow palette. Lots of really pretty muted midtones in here. I don't know, I feel like there's some other things I can already think of that I want to pull over this, one of which is this. So this is Christmas from Marc Jacobs, not 2018, this one in 2017. This palette is just a heck of a lot of fun. I really enjoy all the colors in here. This gets a lot of love from me, especially in the summertime. This is the Tarte Make Believe in Yourself palette. I love all of the shimmers in here, but I've pulled this one quite a few times. I think I would rather actually pull this in. So the Urban Decay Gwen Stefani palette. Made it through my declutter series, and I do think it's been a while since I've played with this, so let's pull that in. One that I'm not going to pull because I've already pulled so many, but is this Vice palette from Urban Decay. But I feel like I've already pulled so many other palettes and I still have 2 more drawers to go through that yanking this in right now would be overkill. I'll think about it. If I don't find any more palettes, I may come back and pull this one. All right, one more drawer down. This has got little smaller palettes as well as some miscellaneous. I mean, this drawer system is maybe not my most effective if I'm being totally honest, but let's see if we've got anything in here. Fortunately, this Pure Visionary palette was limited edition. That makes me super sad. Tempted to pull that one in. I may set that to the side. And that's actually it for this drawer. There's nothing else that is limited edition in here. I'm shocked. Okay, final palette, eyeshadow palette drawer. This is at the very bottom of my drawers. Let's see. This is limited edition from ColourPop. This is the All I See Is Magic palette. This was holiday 2017, and it says it right on the side. This one I think could be a lot of fun to pull in this month. I think it's got some really interesting pretty mattes and some shimmers. Maybe pulling too many palettes. I will reevaluate here shortly, but this one I think I would like to pull in. This was another limited edition ColourPop palette. This was Semi Precious. The shimmers in here were absolutely beautiful, which is why it keeps making it through my declutter. But I do think I've already pulled so many palettes that I don't want to pull this one in right now. Oh yes, these. Oh man, I'm tempted to pull both of these. Knew this was going to happen when we got to eyeshadow palette drawers. These are NYX, what are these? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 palette palettes. They were part of a little set that came with a lipstick, a liner, and then a palette. These came out, I think 2 years ago, 2017. Maybe it was 2016 actually. But I really loved the pigmentation in all of these. This was one of the early palettes where I was starting to see some yellow colors. And I know this is a gold, but it really came off mustardy. I loved that I had cool tones in this one, and then this one was more jewel tones, and they actually worked really well together, which is why I ended up buying both of them. But the pigmentation was really, really pretty in these. So I'm curious to see how these stack up. I need to probably do a drugstore eyeshadow palette declutter video. So these would be good for me to play around with and just kind of make sure that I like them as much as I remember liking them. This is probably the last limited edition palette I can find. This is Pixie Wiley Hung. This has mattes and shimmers. This was limited edition at Target, I think last summer. I did enjoy this palette. I don't think it's the best in my collection, but I was able to get some really pretty looks with it. But I'm staring at this eyeshadow palette stack over here, and I know I need to like dial it back. Quickly review what I've pulled. So these 2 NYX palettes, I definitely think I want to keep those. This All I See Is Magic palette by ColourPop. I do want to keep that in this month. I think I'm going to put this Pure Visionary palette back. I absolutely love this one, but it's newer to my collection and I got an absolute crap ton of use out of it when I first used it. So let's put this guy back for now. Gwen Stefani, definitely. Marc Jacobs, definitely. I don't know if I want to pull both of these because I've got another 9pan palette like I like to pull of single shadows, and those aren't necessarily limited edition, but it's just I've made another 9pan palette. I'll show you here in a minute of my single shadows. So I think, given what I've pulled from that, I'm actually going to pull the Tarte Clay Play palette, and I think I'm going to hold off on this Master by Mario palette. Okay, so one of the reasons I didn't want to pull a ton of products from my blush drawers because I knew I I had a lot of blush face palettes that were limited edition in here. I think most of them might be. One that I think I do want to pull in, this is from the Pirates of the Caribbean and Loreal palette. It has some really pretty highlighters and some really pretty blushes, and actually a shade that I can almost use as a bronzer. So definitely want to pull this in. This little Hourglass palette is from holiday of this year, but I used this a ton and I don't feel like I need to pull it as a limited edition product. This one from Tarte, I actually traveled with for the holidays. This is Tarte several holidays ago, like maybe 3 holidays ago. It has a ton of different blush shades in it, but I do feel like I just used this one not that long ago, and I can see another palette that I think I want to pull in its place. This is the Beauty and the Beast face palette. It has a highlighter that I can't wear and 3 really pretty blush shades. I do need to decide if I want to keep this guy, to be very honest. The blush shades are very, very similar. I think I may pull this and kind of start to make my mind up about it. I also want to pull this. This is an Ancient Benefit Cheekathon palette. It has a bronzer in it, so it has Hula, Rockateur, Dandelion, Coralista, and Dallas. I haven't used this in a long, long time, so let's pull that. Got this Fiona Styles face palette. It's really pretty, but I pulled this one fairly recently as well. And then I also recently pulled this, the Gwen Stefani blush palette, obviously limited edition, very, very pretty colors. I do think I want to pull this too. So this is a glow kit from Anastasia. It has 4 shades in it. I bought both glow kits. This is the Gleam kit. There was another one that came out at the same time. It was the first time she put out the glow kits that had more bronzy colors, and so I kept 2 shades from this palette, Starburst and Crushed Pearl, and then Hard Candy Mimosa. These are actually different shades from the other palette. So what I ended up doing was keeping the lightest shades from both of them. So this is Moonstone and this is Summer. So let's pull that in because that will give me some highlighter options. And then down at this end, and it's hard to see, I may tilt the camera slightly, those are all of my cream liquid highlighters, bronzers. I don't know if any of these are limited edition. In fact, I don't think any of them are. None of those are limited edition. So let's move into face products because I need to make a decision about how we're going to pull foundations and concealers and things like that. Okay, so now we are in my primers and powder drawer. So I want to see if there's anything limited edition in here. Okay, as predicted, no primers in here are truly limited edition. So I think what I'm going to do is just pull some that I haven't pulled in a while. So let's do an illuminating one. Let's try this Flower in Your Prime illuminating primer. Let's pull that in. Okay, so let's also pull this in. So this is from The Ordinary. This is the high adherence silicone primer. It's really nice and moisturizing, really smoothing. That'll be good. I also have a couple of primers in my Use It Up for 2019 Project Pan, so I think that'll be enough between that and those 2. For powders, there's actually a couple in here that I would consider to be limited edition. So one is this Snow White setting powder from Besame. Okay, so that is the only one I see. So let's pull a couple of other powders. Let's pull a couple loose powders. Let's pull this AOA Studio setting powder. This is the shade Soft Light. I remember really enjoying this one, so let's pull that in. Pull a glowy one. So this is Milani. This is a Radiance loose powder. I do like buffing with this guy. I haven't played around with this a ton in a while. So this is the e.l.f. High Definition Under Eye Setting Powder. So let's go ahead and pull that guy in as well. And I think that is good for this drawer. All right, so now we're looking at my foundation and concealer drawer. These are organized by glowy, more natural, more matte, and then cushion foundations, BB creams, and concealers are in the back. One I think I am gonna pull is this L'Oreal Lumi Cushion because I think it's discontinued. I can't find it anywhere. So maybe this was limited edition. I had no idea. So we're gonna try and maybe use some of this up. Let's pull this. So this I don't think was limited edition, but it's discontinued. So I think we'll count it as such since this is a difficult drawer to pull from in that respect. This is the Fiona Styles Matte Finish Concentrate in the shade 01. And then I'm actually okay with just pulling those 2 from this drawer because once again, that will force me to use up some of the foundations that are in my everyday or in my project pan for the year. Let me look at concealers. I'm gonna pull this Fiona Styles Potted Concealer in the shade 0102. Same reason as I pulled the foundation, no longer available. And then I'm gonna pull this e.l.f. may still make this. I don't actually know. It may be discontinued, but it's the only other sort of random concealer that is down there. This is their maximum coverage concealer. This is in the shade Porcelain. It's really, really smoothing and forgiving underneath my eyes, so I do really, really enjoy this. I don't feel like there's a ton of colors. I will check if it's discontinued. Obviously, I will notate that here on the screen, but let's pull that as my other concealer. All right, so last section we need to pull from are my lipstick sort of acrylics on top of my Alex 9 drawer. Let's actually start with the very tippy top here with a little container you can't quite see on film. Some of my more high-end lipsticks. This is clearly limited edition. This is from MAC. This is the shade Nothing to Wear, which is a really pretty, more cool-toned neutral nude. And then I don't think any of these others are limited. Oh, nope, I like this. This is Movember. This is from Bite Beauty. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous deep mauve that came out, gosh, 2017, I think. All right, bottom drawer, whole bunch of julep. It's balms. Although they have different colors on the outside, all these colors are still available, as are these Burt's Bees and Revlon, so nothing limited edition in here to pull. So here is ColourPop Lippy Sticks. Let's pull this shade I know is limited edition called Fab 5 to celebrate their 5-year birthday. And then let's also pull Frida. I'm also getting concerned that it might just be going bad. This was an old lippy stick that was done with Coffee Break with Danny. I do really love this sort of salmony pink, mid-toned pink color. And I'm also convinced there's other shades in here from ColourPop that are discontinued, but we'll leave it there. None of these are technically limited edition. There's probably a few colors in here from Bite that aren't available anymore. I feel like we can skip that. I feel like I'm also pulling, I always feel like I pull too many lip products. I'm 99% sure that these lip lusters from NYX have been discontinued. Gel-like formula, really cooling when you put it on the lips, so let's pull that in. Let's see, I know there is a couple of these NARS shades that are limited edition. I know Impossible Red is, and then I wanna say, yeah, the lightest shade here, Suck, is also limited edition. I haven't pulled these in a while, and I do really like this formula. NARS makes me sad that they decided not to go or back away from their cruelty-free stance. These are ColourPop Ultra Satins, and then a couple of miscellaneous ones. I think a lot of these might be discontinued now because ColourPop does that, but I feel comfortable skipping those at this point. Let's see, these are more moussey type liquid lipsticks, and I don't think any of these are limited edition, to be honest. Maybe this one, because I think this was part of a Itsy Unzipped. I think this was limited edition. This is a really pretty plummy mauve. Okay, whole bunch of miscellaneous liquid lipsticks. I think all of these are standard shades for the brand. I don't think any of these have been discontinued, so I don't think we have to pull anything from here. And then my top drawer just has all of my Maybelline Stay Inks, my Flower Beauty ones, and a couple of Physicians Formula liquid lipsticks, so none of those are limited edition, I know that. So now we've gone through everything, let's go ahead and load up the drawers and I'll show you what we're looking like. All right, so here is how the drawer has come together. It's actually worked out pretty well. I've had to kind of maneuver and shuffle some things around a little bit, but I shifted all of my standard sort of stay-in things here so that I could fit my liquid and single shadow pulls that I did over here. I usually tuck them right in the front here, but as you can see, this is smashed full of palettes. I have been able to kind of wedge these 3 face palettes back here in the back, so I think that is gonna work. And then I've got lots of sort of loose powder, cushiony, larger things sitting here, so I'm actually glad I didn't pull as many sort of single blush, bronzer, highlighters in this section here. Lipsticks, as per usual, I've pulled an absolute crap ton, probably more than I needed to pull, but what are you gonna do? That seems to be the thing that I do every time I do these Shop My Stashes. One thing I do want to show you that I didn't have a chance to earlier, which is the 9-pan eyeshadow palette that I've picked for this month. So let me zoom you in here, because this is what I have put together. So here is the 9-pan palette I put together. It's actually all shimmers. I was looking at my eyeshadows and I decided that it would be a lot of fun to pull all of my duochromes. And so I went through, and I still have a couple more that didn't fit in here, but I tried to pick some more interesting colors. Because it's kind of hard to see the duochromes just sitting here in the pan, I did swatch them all on my arm so you can see. I will put all of these in order down below in the description box. So going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so I don't have to read them out loud for you here. I thought duochromes would be fun. I am mildly obsessed with duochromes. Okay, maybe more than mildly. I freaking love duochrome. Here is what they look like all swatched. We've got a teal, blue, brown. We've got a green that shifts gold. We've got kind of a limey, orangey, I don't know, interesting color from ColourPop. I've got one that shifts sort of teal to purple. I've got one that shifts sort of pink to peach, one that shifts sort of the traditional blue pink color. This really cool taupe to green, mint to gold, and then sort of white gold shift. I hope you enjoyed this month's Shop My Stash and the theme that I've pulled. I think pulling in limited edition products is actually pulled together a lot of products that seem like they're going to be super fun to play with, things that I maybe haven't touched in a year or so, and I'm really excited to be playing in this drawer this month. Let me know down below if you guys have been doing a Shop Your Stash and if you've done any themes or have any ideas for themes for future months. I would love to hear them. I think coming up with kind of ways to shop my stash besides just randomly pulling things, it's just been a lot of fun. So any inputs you guys have on themes for Shop My Stash, I would absolutely love to hear your ideas. I hope you guys are having an amazing week. Talk to you soon. Bye.